ACLU here in New Hampshire. One of the issues that I'm working on currently is criminal justice reform and ending mass incarceration. My question is for you. The New Hampshire State House is set to again hear and vote on legalizing marijuana in 2019. Would you support legalizing marijuana on a federal level? And is there a plan to pardon all low-level drug offenders?
Well, as you know, Congress passed and the President signed recently a little baby step criminal justice reform act called the First Step Act, I think. And obviously, much more has to be done. You know, I was in the Justice Department, as I say, for 7 years. I concentrated on financial crimes and political corruption. Not so much on not at all on possessory marijuana offenses. You know, the reason was that it was self-regarding conduct. It wasn't a threat to society along the lines of the other offenses. I've gotten into this question and you know, learned that if you're a minority, if you're in a black community, you're 4 times as likely to get arrested for possessory marijuana offenses, and not trafficking, just possessory, than if you were white. You're 4 times as likely to get sentenced to prison for that. Your sentence is likely to be 4 times as long. Well, that's a factor of 64 to 1. And there are communities that were ripped up by somewhat heavy-handed enforcement. One might even say targeted enforcement during the war on drugs. So, you know, I don't know about monetary reparations, which people are talking about, but I do think that you know, lessening the mandatory minimum so that they don't reach possessory offenses is just one example. That would be a good idea, and commutation. If someone's been in 9 years for possessing, you know, 9 ounces of dope, I'd let that person out in a second. And that may sound like a made-up example. It's not. It's not. There are real injustices in sentencing that went on, depending on the class and ethnicity of the defendant and what part of the country the alleged offense, or actually the actual offense, took place in. So I'm all for that. You said ACLU? Yes. Yeah. I used to be a card-carrying member of the ACLU. Yes.